Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Thursday evening, and we're at May 9th, 2029, and what a wild day. You know, the markets all came alive on the bad news at 7:30 in the morning of the unemployment claims. They jumped rather sharply. 22,000, they were only looking for a 6,000 gain. So that got the trade going and thinking to itself, okay, we just saw bad jobs data. We're getting bad unemployment claims, and they jumped also in the continuing claims. The market went, hold on here. That's what we want. And it went back to and I thought we were getting away from it. It went back to the idea that bad news is bull news, because that means the Fed's likely to be looking at that and become favorable and making a cut. Okay. I think it comes more together on the next Wednesday with the CPI, and we'll see where those are. And they're looking for those to be somewhat lower numbers, so that should be interesting too. So the market grabbed on that theme and it ran. Now, as you know, during the day, if you were watching any of the news stations, let's start with, and I'm not talking business news, I'm talking the major news stations. They were full of the Trump trial with Stormy Daniels. I mean, the coverage was insane. Tonight, the judge has ruled, tonight, that he's not allowing photographers in the courtroom. It was a zoo that was going on, so he's trying to grab some control. Nobody was paying attention to what went on with the failed talks now of Israel-Hamas. That came out, and talks collapsed at about 12:30 Chicago time. I put out a special update to my clients and said, at this point, I think you're going to see immediately stock indices, bonds, energies, and the metal markets take off to the upside. And the reason is this is what Israel was looking for. That's why they have amassed everybody. Hamas, from their point of view, they're saying they walked away from the talks because Israel's already attacking in Rafah. Okay, but they don't say that all they've done is drag their feet and they're sticking with their Israel has to fully pull out. Israel's point of view is enough is enough. The United States has taken and cut off aid to Israel, but in a different way. And let's be fair about it. They're cutting off offensive weapon aid, not defensive weapon aid. There's a fine line, but that's exactly what they're doing. This opens the door again once Israel moves in a very destructive way, which I expect. Surgical and destructive. They've learned enough now to go area by area. So I think they can get people out more safely than they're being given credit for. If the people want to leave, if people want to stay, they're part of the landscape. Unfortunately, that's how it's being treated. But supposedly 80,000 have left that area. So we'll see what happens there. This opens the door, and you have to just be ready that Israel and Iran can go at each other again. It opens the door where Hezbollah is going to go at it. It opens the door that from parts of Iraq and Syria, rockets are going to be launched at Israel. So everything kicks up a gear. The stock market didn't care. The stock market was enamored with the idea, interest rates, earnings season coming over. About 8 out of 10 companies did better on their earnings. We still have the granddaddy NVIDIA left to report, but just about all the big companies are now out of the way. You know that the travel industry took it on the chin, so discretionary spending happening there, and nothing good goes on for Boeing. It just keeps that every airplane that has a problem seems to be an old Boeing plane of some type. It's just the way that it's working. That too will go away over time. So you had a bid in your TLT. Amazon is the darling right now. It did get up over 190, 170. I've already heard people saying, I'm getting out of my Apple. I'm going to own Amazon instead. You're hearing all that type of talk going through there. Home Depot, a big gainer today, and it's one of the stocks we're covering. I was so hoping it would fill the gap. It tried yesterday. It just missed a little bitty, and took back off to the upside today. Microsoft up a little bit, Meta, even Boeing with all the bad news, not doing too bad. AMC, remember what I'm telling you. If you buy it, they're going to dilute you out. You don't want to own that company. I may have to get rid of it and stop watching it. In Home Depot, you know how bad I was hoping we'd fill into this gap. You did get in there yesterday, and today you just left town. And when you left town, you've now got higher lows. You've had higher highs. The market has stayed this whole time over the 18-day average, so the bias has remained bullish through the whole thing. The logical first stop is where? Well, you got to add more than this. The logical first stop is the 100-day average in moving averages, but it's the Bollinger Band. And you went to it and you jumped it today. If you can get follow through, you open the door for the 357 level. That's $10 higher. It's hard to get to. That's about a 3% gain from here. So we'll see if it can do it. But I hate to say it, but I don't think you're going to fill that gap. And if you do, you may not want to own it when it does it. When I look at the momentum, you are overbought. So a theme that showed itself all the way through today is markets got back to their upper Bollinger Bands. They're either going to be able to stay over them for a few days or not, but that is not the spot that I would tell clients to buy the markets. eBay had its one break. This is a bear market rally, as I call it, back up, and resistance should be around 50, 59. Closing over that will give traders a ray of hope that the worst is behind the company. In Tesla, they just can't get out of their way. And, you know, the defections that have happened in the company, what their next move is going to be, I don't know. Starlink, what's interesting, it appears that with the Pentagon prodding, Starlink has now been able to shut off Russia's use of Starlink in the battlefield by Ukraine. I read that, when I tell you I read that 15 minutes ago before I'm doing this, I just read that. So that's a good piece of news. Look for support around the 168 level. In Freeport, higher lows, higher highs. Now, you want to watch this market, not now. I want to see what happens over the weekend. China's CPI numbers are coming out. How are they doing? Where are they? Are we going to see the companies do anything? I want to get factory gate numbers like everybody else, but they're very hard to get. China keeps cutting what you can see, how you see it, what you do. By the way, OPEC today did the same. They're going to change now their methodology of reporting to us. It's going to be demand-oriented more than it's going to be from within OPEC, what their members are seeing. So it's going to be a different reporting. The EIA already breaks it out for us. So I've been covering it that way. So to me, it doesn't mean anything. But to the average guy out there, it's going to get confusing. And these are private organizations, or, if you will, in China, the case of a communist government that decides what it wants to do when it wants to do it. They don't need anybody's permission. Higher lows, higher highs, sideways action, still bullish up until you take out 49.43, in my opinion. In the gas market, I think you're making a bottom right now. I think you did it yesterday when you went and made your run at the 100-day average in green, the Bollinger Band, and the gray line, this one, the 100-day average. I think that combination on the chart is where the market began to see its short covering. When we look at the financial services, they love what's going on with the break of the interest rates and so on. So now you're up to the Bollinger Band, and I know you're going to tell me it's going to keep running, and I'd be telling you if you were sitting next to me, you'd get an elbow in the side, you're long, why aren't you taking some money off the table up there? And you tell me I don't know what I'm doing, and you're probably right. Higher lows, higher highs. You got to the Bollinger Band here, and you've gone a bit higher. I'm the first to say that. Now you're trying to get what we call the gorilla glue trade. What do I name that for? It's when you lock in and every day you hit the Bollinger Band. If you keep doing that over 4 days in a row, you need 4 days of it for that to occur for me, it starts pulling on this number, and it can make it eventually embed. Now, how fast it does that is all the key to it. And we'll see what happens, but you're there, you're still at a resistance point. That means that you, first of all, even if you get the gorilla glue, I would never tell you to buy the Bollinger Band, but breaks on it could be bought if and when you embed, not until that point. In RSPD, we were just talking yesterday, are we going to get buy signals in the market? And what we had said, let's get to this so that we can see it. This is what we had looked like. Lower lows, higher highs. Then we had the pull down yesterday. And I said, and I know I said this in my updates, if you can get over this high, you're going to capture traders, and you're probably coming back up, maybe challenging that upper band at 48.40 in the end. This is what you did today, so we're going to find out tomorrow if I'm right or wrong, because it did everything that I was pretty much talking about. In the home builders, you know I believe in these guys. You've heard me say it, because they're so smart. They can downsize homes. They can buy down mortgage numbers. We're not any longer at over 5% in the 10-year notes. We're at 4.5, 4.6, if you will. Had a big auction today of 30 years. I don't know if you saw how well that went. It was around the 4.6 level. So it actually went well. You know, people are buying long dated, and they're content with 4.6% right now, which is interesting in itself. Lower low, higher high, very overbought. I'm in many ways locked out of these markets. I won't have my client buy a Bollinger Band, and I need to get the trends up like here. Now in energy, all you need to do is close over 94.37, and I'm fully in the bull camp. So tomorrow's an important day in this market. In gold, I told clients today via my special update, I sent it out to my ETF traders, to my futures traders. At 12:30, I said, I think the markets that are going to go, and I gave them which is, and I gave them the reasons why, and luck has it that every now and then I hit something right, and they moved. I've been saying silver stronger than gold. I think I've said it even here. It is. All you got to do is look at the gold-silver ratio. It's gone from 91 down to 82, so you need about 9 ounces less of silver to get an ounce of gold. You know I've been friendly copper, but I do so want to see the CPI numbers and anything else China throws out over the weekend. I think they're going to be important. You are overbought in the market, so be a bit cautious, but I am very friendly copper. In TLT, well, once you saw the unemployment claims number, this market never looked back. It was down early, and then just spun around, if you will, by the opening. So why it was even down was interesting, because it had a chance before the market opened an hour ahead of time, and all the futures were already moving to the upside. And then they got accelerated at 12:30 when the truce talks broke between Israel and Hamas. UUP, the dollar sold off on the news. Now, the dollar gets bullish again if you get over 28.82. The dollar's in a downtrend temporarily, and I look for support here in a tight range. Let's call it the 28.68, which is the 100-day average, this line right here, to the Bollinger Band of 28.63. Very tight range that has developed. And on the upside, look for the euro to have big resistance starting at 99.66 tomorrow. So you put it together, you come up with game plans, and that's the thing. Was there a surprise today? I admired CNBC because everybody was honest. All the key announcers, they didn't see today's rally coming, and it just came out of nowhere. And I think they were like I was. I was thinking bear news is bear news, but the market proved us wrong on that thought that would be the case. We talk about this. We do a lot more than talk. We write about it throughout the day, and we'd like to give you our newsletters. See the Select This offer? When you go to IraEpstein.com, free offers, a whole page shows up. It looks like this on your computer screen. And you pick what you'd like at the very bottom of the screen. You then, once you're through picking it, it creates a shopping cart for you. You put in your name, your email address. If you have comments that you want anything special from us or want us to call you, whatever it is, let us know. That is where you put all that in. And within a business day or so, you look in your email box, you should get it from us. We'll generally reach out if we can, because sometimes it'll go into your spam. It depends how tight you have your controls. So always check your junk files. We don't think it's junk, but we will get to you what you want to get there, and there's quite a bit to choose from. So it's iraepstein.com, free offers. You move your cursor up here. If you play this back, you can see all the different offers and the explanations of what each one is here. And of course, you can go to the website, and that's the best place you can do all this. But it's booklets, it's free trading courses, free charting software to work with, and then you add this information, and away you go. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I'll catch up, everybody, first thing in the morning. Take care now.